First base, no, down this way. Hard left. As soon as they break up, I go to the
On another perfect day for baseball in San Luis Obispo, California. Temperatures at 70 degrees even before first pitch. We are live at Sinsheimer Park for the SLO Blues and the Santa Barbara Foresters. Two teams tied atop the CCL Southern standings. Both teams coming in with records of 6-3 in conference play. So the Blues and Foresters, whoever wins this one, will be in sole possession of first place in the CCL South. It is a big one. And if you were with us earlier this year, you saw that the Blues went into Santa Barbara and took a win in Pershing Park. That was by the score of 5-0. It was one of the more dominant performances by the Blues pitching staff, and the offense came through in timely fashion, picking up some of their biggest hits of the season, as the Blues would go on to win that one and shut out the Foresters 5-0. Blues are on a roll. They've won 3 in a row, all in conference and all by 1 run. So the team has come through late and in back-to-back games, winning in the 8th or later. That's when the Blues would take the lead in all 3 of their wins. Every game featuring winning runs scored in the 8th or later. Heroes of AJ Esperanza, Vinny Bologna, and Justin Trimble on the 4th in Thousand Oaks. That led to the Blues' most recent win to get them to 16-5 as we enter the second half of this season. They've got 16 wins in their first 21 games. Now the second half of the season starts, and it starts with a big one. 2 games set here against Santa Barbara today and tomorrow. Then they'll welcome the Riptide and the Oaks to town for more key CCL South games. And the Blues, again, with this win today, would be atop the CCL South over the Foresters, who they've already beaten once this year. This is the second matchup between the Blues and Foresters. On the mound for the Blues will be Evan Larson. This will be his second start. Evan usually, in his last 2 appearances, has come out of the bullpen. He will get the start today. As for the Foresters, they will send Cole Reeves, who is another guy out of the bullpen, getting a start today. This will be his second appearance on the year. Reeves will be tasked with shutting down a Blues offense that has looked much more comfortable as of late. Blues went 3-3 on the week last week. First 3 losses all on the road, followed up with 3 key wins, 2 at home, 1 on the road, to get that record to 16-5 and get themselves ready for a key 2-game set here against the Foresters. This is how Santa Barbara lines up today. Leading off and playing center field is Kendall Pettis, followed by Andrew Cachel, the third baseman, who bats second. Steven Zobak, who can pitch and hit, will bat third today and play first base, followed by Ryan Robleski, the catcher, batting cleanup, followed by Tanner Otremba, the DH, batting fifth. Tyler Casagrande bats sixth and plays left field. Josiah Morrissey bats seventh and plays second base. Cade Higgins, the right fielder, will bat eighth, and Jack Rydell out of North Carolina is in the 9 hole and will play shortstop. Blues, this is how they'll line up. Ryan Cermak, who has been hot since leading off ball games for Coach Miller, he leads off and plays center field as always, followed by Mason Grotto. And in the game of where will Mason Grotto play defense, we find him in left field. Austin Sheld is batting third and doing the catching. Top 3 in this lineup have remained solidified all throughout this 3-game winning streak. Same with Vince Martinez, DH, batting cleanup. He's got 3 RBIs in his 4 starts as a Blue. Tate Samuelson will bat fifth and play third base. TJ Clarkson, who we saw pitch in the last outing, starts and bats sixth and gets the start at first base, followed by Vinny Bologna, who gave the Blues a key home run, last Sunday to get a win. He bats seventh and plays right field, followed by Austin Kretschmar, the second baseman, who bats eighth, and Ruben Mercado, the senior at San Jose State, who rounds things out and will play shortstop today. Blues led by Coach Bob Miller, first season with the Blues, and it was a solid first half of this season. Had ups and downs, more ups than downs, and the highs were a lot more fun than the lows. You could argue the only low was that 3-game losing streak, in which the Blues had to get back on track, and they did that in thrilling fashion. 3 straight 1-run victories. This is a team that did not play any close games early in the year. They've been tested, and they have passed their last 3 tests with flying colors. And they will face the Foresters for the second time this season. They've already defeated them 5-0. That was back in mid-June. Foresters make their way to Sinsheimer for the first time this year, and this rivalry will enter a new chapter. On the other end of this break, I'll be back with you for first pitch on the Blue Streaming Network. Don't go anywhere. It's a good one. Blues and Foresters never disappoints. I'll be back with you for first pitch. Thanks for hanging out and making us a part of your Tuesday evening here in San Luis Obispo.
Martinez. And Alyssa used to be an intern with the Blues, and she's now a new local real estate with Tune Real Estate. At this point, we ask you to please rise, remove your caps, and join Alyssa in the national anthem.
Can you see my adultery light? What's so brightly there at the twilight's last gleam? Whose torch strikes and bright stars through the perilous sky, o'er the ramparts we watch, who so gallantly she, and the Rockies regiment, the bombs bursting in air, they cruise through the night that our flag was
They're still going on the song,
saving.
but we can play it.
Oh, see that star-spangled banner yet waving for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And with that, we are ready for baseball at Sinsheimer Park. It is the first matchup with the Foresters coming in to play the Blues at home. Blues beat the Foresters on their home field. Foresters looking for revenge. Both these teams, as mentioned, very competitive, tied for first place in the CCL South at 6-3. Blues have gotten to become tied at first. They were as low as fourth at the end of that three-game losing streak on the road. They come home, they win two straight against the Saints and Oaks, teams that were ahead of them in the standings. Defeating the Oaks one more time has them now tied with the Foresters. Foresters, they're on their own winning streak. They've won 4 in a row, 3 of which have come in non-conference play. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're 6-2 since they last played the Blues and lost nothing. Blues, again, we mentioned, a 3-game winning streak, all in conference. That's what's key, all by one run. They're winning close games and showing that they can come through late. Esperanza, Bologna, and Trimble, courtesy of those men who delivered go-ahead runs in the 8th or later to get the Blues the 3 wins. Evan Larson's going to take the mound and face this Foresters offense that comes in averaging 9 runs a game, batting average of 285 as a team, and they don't strike out too much, 8.5 Ks per game. Honestly, when you look at other teams in the CCL, that's about what everyone does, about 7-8 strikeouts per game. The number with the Foresters you have to look out for, they average 7.5 walks a game. Whether they face teams that have pitchers that struggle with command, it's still a staggering number. Keeping them off the base paths today will be extremely key. Leading things off will be Kendall Pettis. We mentioned the center fielder, followed by Andrew Kachel, who's on an absolute tear. We'll detail that when he's at the plate. And Steven Zobak, a man who pitches and will play first base today, bats third. That is the top 3 Evan Larson will face as the Foresters come into play, having won 4 in a row, 3 in non-conference play. Blues have won 3 straight one-run games. Man, those have been fun. And we are about ready to start game 22. Can you believe it? We are in the second half of this season. Man, it's flown by, and time flies when you're having fun, and that's what the Blues have been doing lately. Winning some close ball games, great performances by this pitching staff, and starting 9, Evan Larson takes the mound. He brings his record of 1-0. That came in his first start. He's come out of the pen his last 2 appearances. This will be his 4th. 2.25 the ERA for Evan, with 8 full innings pitched under his belt. 13 Ks to his credit, 6 walks on 8 hits. Coming off of a tough outing that came in Irvine, looking to erase that from his memory. Sure, he already has. Here's the first pitch to Kendall Pettis. In there for strike 1 as Larson delivers the breaking ball and gets ahead. We are underway. It's the top of the first. It's the Blues and Foresters, and we're happy to have you along with us. Hi again, everybody. I'm Zach Ebrahim. Here's the 0-1. Now it's 0-2. Larson has gone off speed and fastball to get ahead 0-2 on Pettis. Pettis, a junior out of Oklahoma, hometown of Chicago, finds himself playing summer ball in SoCal. Swung on and missed for strike 3. It's dug out of the dirt by Shell and tagged. It's a 3-pitch strikeout to start Evan Larson's day on the mound. Well, here's the man who's swinging one of the hottest bats in the CCL, Andrew Kachel, junior at Fresno State, teammate of Mason Grotto's. The two know each other well. He's from Gilroy, California. Batting average of .429 coming into this one. That leads the team. He's walked 16 times. That leads the team. At the plate, as Larson delivers the first pitch to him, and that's in there, strike 1. Larson's thrown 4 pitches and 4 strikes now. But Kachel, in his last 25 plate appearances, has gotten 13 hits. Absolutely on fire. Batting average of over 500. That's strike 2. Larson's thrown 5 pitches. He's thrown 5 strikes. He's ahead 0-2 on Kachel. 1 out, no score, top of the first. Blues and Foresters for the second time this season. 0-2 from Larson to Andrew Kachel, and that's swung on and missed for strike 3. Can you ask for a better start? 6 pitches and 2 strikeouts swinging for Evan Larson. And that'll bring Steven Zobak to the plate to bat with 2 outs and no one on. Zobak, who we've seen, or the Foresters have seen, pitch for their ball club. He'll bat third today and hope to be part of a Foresters offense that looking to change their fortunes against a Blues pitching staff that had their way with them last time, shutting them out. And at that time, they were averaging over 10 runs a game, similar to the Blues at that point in the season. That's the first ball of the day. Evan Larson delivers it inside. Count is 1-0 to Zobak. 1-0 to Zobak. That's sent out to center. Cermak ranges on and finds himself in left center to make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning and a quick start for Evan Larson. He's got 2 Ks and a flyout to set the Foresters down 1-2-3 and keep them quiet in the top of the first. We will head to the bottom of the first and a Blues offense that has come alive late in ball games. They are winning. They have won 3 straight. And, of course, come into a week that's heavy in the CCL South in terms of competition. 2 games set here against the Foresters. Key games for the Blues coming up, and their offense will have to face the starter on the mound for Santa Barbara, Cole Reeves. Another big pitcher, and this is something the Blues have faced. These pitchers that stand over 6'3" on the mound. Reeves at 6'4", 230. Big kid, junior out of Dallas Baptist University, hometown of Dallas, Texas. Gets the start today. Brings his ERA of 4.50 into this one. Only 2 innings pitched under his belt. 5 Ks, has not given up a walk, and only 4 hits to his credit. He'll have to deal with the Blues offense that leads off with Ryan Cermak, who has absolutely come alive as of late and had his biggest hit of the year against the Foresters, a 3-run home run that made the deficit 5-0 for Santa Barbara. It would prove to be insurmountable. Blues would win by that final. Mason Grotto, the man who is now just second in the CCL in batting average at .433, followed by Austin Shell, who has been on fire since being inserted into the 3 spot, also doing the catching today. Those are the 1, 2, 3, and the big bats for the Blues, who will face Reeves to start things out.
Happy birthday, Treasure. She's down there over
Cermak, who did deal with a slump, especially on that 3-game road trip, in which the team went 0-3, only scored 3 runs, quickly erasing that from their memories and winning 3 straight coming into this one. But it's a new week. We're in the month of July now, and you always got to get up for the Foresters. Blues and Foresters. This is chapter 2 of this one's second meeting this season. Cermak will lead things off, and since being inserted into that leadoff spot, his bat has really come alive. And the thought process with this coaching staff and putting him at the top was, this is a guy who was batting third almost the entire season till the slump came around. He was striking out a lot. But leading off, Cermak gets him a lot of at-bats and a lot of looks at this pitching staff of opposing teams. Reeves' day is underway with strike 1 that he delivers to Cermak. No score. We're in the bottom of the first. And Cermak bats with no one on and no out, leading off the offense for the Blues. And that's ball 1. Count is even at 1-1 to Ryan Cermak. Has seen the average skyrocket back up to 314. That's where we saw him earlier this year. Leads the team in at-bats. At strike 2. Count is now 1-2 to Cermak. Tied for second on the team in hits with Austin Shell, both men with 27. Cermak second on the team in RBIs with 18. 4 of those coming in his last 4 starts. Swung on and fouled away. It is 1-2. Swung the bat out at that one, made contact, and count remains the same at 1-2. 1-2 the count, and Reeves looking in, getting the sign from Robleski, and deals the 4th pitch to Cermak. It's swung on and missed for strike 3, and Ryan is down on 4 pitches. 1 away for Grotto. So Mason Grotto, after leading the CCL in batting average for about 2 weeks, has now fallen to second. It's at .432 for Mason. He leads the team in almost everything. He bats with no one on and no out. Back on the 4th, started his day as he takes strike 1 with 2 RBI singles in the first and second innings. Give the Blues an early lead. A typical Mason Grotto start. Gets the start in left field today alongside Cermak. That's strike 2, and that's a key when you're dealing to Grotto to get ahead with that first pitch strike, and even better when you've got him in an 0-2 hole. But this is still a guy with one of the best eyes in the CCL. He'll pop that one up. Infield will have a look, and it's in shallow right. Morrissey has it for the catch, and it's quickly 2 away for Austin Shell. That'll bring Shell to the plate, and Shell, another man who has seen his batting average skyrocket, especially since we've played the Arroyo Seco Saints twice last week. In those 2 games, he went 7 for 7 with 6 singles, a double, and 2 RBIs. They would end up intentionally walking him the last time those 2 teams played here at Sinsheimer. Shell is last time facing the Foresters as he takes strike 1. Also had an RBI, went 2 for 4 with a single and a double. That double that drove in a run came in the 5th inning of that game, and that made it 2-0. Cermak home run will made it 5-0. That one's fouled off, and it's 0-2 to Shell. First souvenir of the day, as that one is fouled off by Shell. 2 outs, no one on, and no score. We're in the bottom of the first at Sinsheimer Park, Blues and Foresters. Reeves has the second straight Blues bat in an 0-2 hole, and he'll deliver the 0-2 to Shell. Check swing, and they'll say he was in there for strike 3 called. It's a 3-pitch strikeout to Austin Shell, and both pitchers exchange 1, 2, 3 innings that both feature 2 strikeouts. Quick start for both men on the mound, and we will head to the top of the second now with no score here at Sinsheimer Park. Happy to have you along with us. First week of July. It's a new month for the Blues, and they are looking to keep this 3-game winning streak going against a team that they are tied with at the top of the CCL South. Two teams that have been very competitive all year. Foresters have played non-conference games as of late, but they still bring their 4-game winning streak into Sinsheimer. It's a battle of the two teams at the top in the South, and we'll have the top of the second for you. Still no score, and Evan Larson will be back out for his second inning of work when we come back. Thanks for hanging out on the Blue Streaming Network. Welcome back. We are on the top of the second. There's no score for Ryan Robleski, the catcher today, who will lead off the top of the second for the Foresters, who were sat down 1-2-3 by Evan Larson. This is Evan's second start this season. He's 1-0 in his 2 appearances out of the bullpen. He's been sharp in 1, and coming off of one against the Riptide as a breaking pitch does not break, and it's taken for ball 1. Evan was a little roughed up. Gave up 5 hits, a couple earned runs, only got 3 outs. And he was kicking himself after the Blues would fall 4-0 to the Riptide. That was the first of the eventual 3-game losing streak. This one is sent out to right, and Bologna is under it to make the catch. And there's one away. Larson has sat down the first 4 men he has seen. But at this point, that seems like ancient history. This is a Blues team that really has come into their own, and they're playing ball games that are close down the stretch, and they're the ones prevailing in those games that are close. And even winning a couple in comeback fashion. And that has given Coach Miller confidence that his team can win late, but concern that they are down early in ball games has not been the case as of late. They took the lead early back on the 4th in Conejo, would give it up late, and then take it right back for the 6-5 victory. That's ball 1 to now Tanner Otremba, the DH who bats 5th. And Larson will come set and deliver a 1-0 to the plate. Taken for strike 1. It is 1 ball and 1 strike now to Otremba, who bats with no one on and no outs. 1 out, No score here in the top of the second. Robleski flew out to right. That was the first out. Here's Otremba now, awaiting a 1-1 from Larson. That swung on and missed for strike 2. He's ahead now on Otremba. Otremba comes in with the average at 421, and that's second on the team to Kachel. 30 less at-bats than Kachel. That swung on and missed for strike 3, and Larson has 3 Ks in his first 5 outs. All swinging, and when you hear batter get to 2 strikes, fans cheer for hot sauce, as that's given away every time a Blues pitcher strikes out an opposing bat. At our marketing table, Casagrande brings his average of 375 into play. This is just his 17th at-bat. He'll face Larson for the first time today. Taking strike 1, there are 2 outs. There's no one on, and still no score. We're in the top of the second. Blues and Foresters, Sinsheimer Park, another perfect day for baseball. Another nice crowd on hand. 0-1 to Casagrande, left fielder batting 6th. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Blues, who in their first meeting with the Foresters were able to take the lead after their top of the first. In fact, they would load the bases, and a sac fly from Tate Samuelson would give them that early 1-0 lead. This one's fouled off and out of play. Count remains 0-2. So Blues never trailed in their first matchup with the Foresters. Their last few games have been up and down, whether they've trailed early or taken the lead early. They'll be looking to do the same here, but it all starts with an 0-2 from Larson to Casagrande. Swung on and hit to Kretschmar at second. He'll field it on a hop and gun to Clarkson to retire the side. It's a second straight 1-2-3 inning for Evan Larson, and we will head to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless, and the Blues bats trying to change that when we come back on the Blues Streaming Network. Could not be happier to have you along with us. Here on July 6th, it's Game 22, second half of the season underway, and what a better way to start it off. Blues and Foresters, Chapter 2 of this matchup, and we'll be right back after this short break. Thanks for hanging out. Here's Vince Martinez, and when we've seen Vince, he has been excellent, batting cleanup and playing DH out of Stanford. And again, we love to mention it, Martinez being productive early in his career as a San Luis Obispo Blue. This will be his fourth start. He's already got 3 RBIs, and the average of just 250. And talking to his parents back in Thousand Oaks, Vince is just warming up, and we believe it because when you look at his 2021 numbers, it featured a batting average over 300, 7 dingers to his credit, and we've already seen the excellent ability to put the ball in play when he needs to. He'll foul that one off to make the count 0-1 versus Cole Reeves for the first time today. Reeves out of Dallas faces Martinez. 0-1 is taken low. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Martinez. We're in the bottom of the second. Still no score, and there's no one on and no one out.
Marcos High School helped Stanford get to the College World Series. Knocked out Arizona before
1 ball and 1 strike to Vince Martinez.
1-1 home.
Swung on and grounded to the left side and through Rydell and Cachel for the first base hit of the day, and it belongs to Vince Martinez, who's safe at first with a single. Here's Tate Samuelson. Bats 5th and man's the hot corner, local kid out of Cal Poly SLO, and Tate was the reason the Blues, as mentioned in the first matchup with the Foresters, took that early 1-0 lead. Sac fly with the bases loaded would bring in a run from third, put the Blues up 1-0, and after the top of the first, give Matt Sox, who we'll see most likely on Thursday against the Riptide, give him a cushion, and that's all Matt Sox needed in that one. Him, Miller Plyman, Sam Page, and Zach McCleve would put together an excellent 9 innings of pitching to shut down the Foresters' offense and win 5-0. Samuelson takes 0-1. Martinez just reached on a single, and there's still no outs in the bottom of the second. Samuelson checks his swing, and it's taken for ball 1. So 1-1 the count now to Tate Samuelson, who comes into this one with the average at 317, and good to see that average above 300 again for Tate. Always has productive at-bats, and a 1-1.
Super senior next spring out of San Diego.
Taken for strike 2, Samuelson, who had an excellent at-bat in the top of the 9th against the Conejo Oaks back on Independence Day, would end up taking a walk, was behind 0-2 in that count, fouled a couple off, ended up taking 4 balls in the at-bat. He was safe. Esperanza would follow with a walk, and Justin Trimble with the single to go ahead. And that one's in there for strike 3 called. Samuelson will hesitantly walk away from home plate and take his strikeout looking. It's the 3rd for Reeves on the day. Martinez is still safe at first, but now there's 1 out for TJ Clarkson.
Good strikeout. Through an inning and a third.
Clarkson, who's been a versatile blue, always manning first base and doing that well. Bats 6th today, and we've seen TJ. Last time we saw TJ, other than his pinch hitting appearance in Conejo, he pitched out of the bullpen and pitched well. And he'll await the first pitch
Left-handed hitter.
from Cole Reeves. Swung on and fouled away. 0-1.
It's 0-1.
Due up is Vinny Bologna, but Martinez, with that base hit, is the first base runner of the day for either team.
16 games this summer.
He reached to lead off the bottom of the second. Still no score. It's 0-0 between the Blues and Foresters. Reeves will deal an 0-1 to Clarkson with 1 on and 1 out. Good pitch but taken, and Robleski appeals to the home plate umpire, confused as to why there wasn't a strike called, and Clarkson will gladly take a 1-1 count with him for the third pitch from Reeves.
With Martinez at first base, 1 gone in the bottom of the second. Reeves 1-1 home.
Swung on and missed for strike 2.
Foul tipped into the glove of Brian Robleski, and it's 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Martinez safe at first. Clarkson in a 1-2 count. There's just one away. Blues trying to get off to another quick start and give the lead to Evan Larson, who's looked excellent in his first 2 innings of work. Here's a 1-2 to TJ. That swung on and missed. High fastball gets him, and it's the second straight strikeout for now 2 away. For Vinny Bologna, Martinez still safe at first. Still no score between these two teams, and Bologna, who's been in and out of the lineup, but finds himself in it now, of course, playing right field, teammate of Mason Grotto's and Andrew Cachel at Fresno State. Senior there, big bat in this lineup, will face Cole Reeves. Swung on and missed for strike 1.
Right-handed batter waves and misses at the first pitch from Reeves. It's 0-1. Vinny Bologna, other Fresno State product on the SLO Blues roster. Previously at San Joaquin Delta Junior College and the University of Oklahoma.
0-1 to Bologna. Foul back, it's 0-2. And Reeves has been getting ahead of these Blues bats. Looking to strand Martinez at first, who singled to lead off the inning.
In 17 at-bats. Both of them have been extra base hits. 1 double, 1 home run. He's knocked in 2. Right-handed hitter. Reeves comes set at the belt and pitches.
High and inside, ball 1.
1-ball, 2 strikes. When the Stars come to bat in the top of the third inning, they'll send up the last third of their batting order. Shai Norcy, Dave Higgins, and Jack Rydell.
1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Vinny Bologna. Vince Martinez still safe at first. No score. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Reeves delivers to the plate, and Bologna takes low, ball 2. And it indeed goes down as a good take by Vinny. At bat will continue. Now the count even at 2-2. There's 2 away. If Vinny is to reach, Austin Kretschmar would come to the plate. But Reeves not worried about that. Worried about delivering a 2-2 to Vinny Bologna, who carries a big stick. And he shows it off there. It is lined off the glove of Rydell at short. Looked like it may go over his head, but he got the glove on it, and Bologna will be safe. As it squirts out of the glove of Rydell, and it goes down as the second Blue to reach. Single for Bologna has men now at first and second for Austin Kretschmar.
Single.
And Rydell came down awkwardly, and they're looking at him right now in shallow left center. Meanwhile, Bologna is safe at first with a single. Martinez advances to second. There's men on first and second now for Kretschmar, who will indeed be at the plate. Right-handed bat looking to face Cole Reeves, but more importantly, the health of Rydell, the matter at hand. And they're going to check him out. He's on his feet. Did not see how he came down. Did not see how awkward it looked or what he may have done, but it was a full leap and full extension of the glove out to try and make the catch. It was off his glove. Goes down as a single, as it would have been a really tough play to make, a really impressive catch if he did indeed make the play. Meanwhile, there's still 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the second, no score, but the Blues threatening here with men on first and second, and Kretschmar will be at the plate.
High five. Say hello, kids. Get up there and see Bluebell.
Jack Rydell doesn't want to have that conversation about leaving this game.
All right, now we got a high five line going down here.
Rivalry game. Blues are playing some really good baseball out of the gate. Jack Rydell will stay in the game.
Rydell seems to be fine. He's safe in his position at shortstop. Playing a little more in and giving Cachel at third base a lot of room to roam over there at the hot corner. Coach Bob Miller relaying a sign to Vince Martinez. Vinny Bologna, who just singled, is safe at first. Austin Kretschmar, also out of Stanford, stands in now and looks to get his first RBI of the season. Kretschmar with the average of just 143, and this is 8th at-bat. Reeves checks second and now deals to the second baseman from Stanford. First pitch is taken low for ball 1. Robleski quickly out of his stance, ready to gun to anyone who takes a healthy lead off of any base. It's Martinez at second. He singled to lead off the inning, and it's Bologna who's safe at first. Kretschmar stands in a 1-0 count facing Reeves for the first time today. We're in the bottom of the second, no score between the Blues and Foresters. Here's the second pitch from Reeves to Kretschmar, and it's swung on and missed. Or strike one. The count will be even, 1 ball and 1 strike in this now, the biggest at bat. Early, of course, but Kretschmar a chance to do damage as the Blues threaten. Back-to-back. Or 2 singles in the inning, excuse me. First 2 base runners of the game. And he'll check second twice. And now Dio Kretschmar takes inside, and it's 2-1.
Kretschmar, a newcomer after the Stanford Cardinal had a nice run in the College World Series.
Kretschmar part of a Stanford core that just got here. Grant Burton was the first to arrive. We have not seen him in the lineup. Martinez has been the most productive so far. Kretschmar swings and misses through that one. The count is now 2-2, but they have certainly added to a Blues offense that was already dynamic, but they have now added a presence defensively and offensively. Kretschmar trying to make his mark here on this one in a 2-2 count against Reeves. He just swung and missed through strike 2, and here's a 2-2 from Reeves. High and inside, ball 3, count will be full. Bologna, who lined a single, is safe at first off the glove of Rydell, who came down awkwardly. Seems to be fine.
2 down, no score in the home half of the second. And Martinez from second, Bologna from first. They will both be off with the next pitch. Reeves set at the belt.
Here's a payoff pitch to Austin Kretschmar, and that is popped up, and it'll be Zomack coming on to make the catch from first as it was hit into the infield. Blues strand 2 men on as Kretschmar pops out to first base, and that does it for the Blues bats. And Cole Reeves is through his second inning, still holding the Blues scoreless, but as always, it is early, and we will head to the top of the third, no score, Blues and Foresters for the second time this season. It'll be the Foresters bats up and trying to make their mark again. It'll be Evan Larson out for his 3rd inning of work. He's looked excellent and is looking to do his part in part 2 of this 2021 Blues and Foresters. Always a good rivalry. 2 teams don't disappoint. Larson will be back out facing the Foresters bats when we come back. Before we take the break, we want to take a moment to thank one of our many generous sponsors of the San Luis Obispo Blues, Via Automotive. And they've been with us since 1946. Via Automotive, that is all 75 years of the Blues' existence. This, of course, the 75th season of SLO Blues baseball. And we want to thank Via Automotive for their continued support all throughout our existence. And Via Automotive, if you're in need of any automotive repairs, check them out. For their motto is, our family taking care of your family. And I'll be right back for the top of the third. Foresters bats up against Larson for the 3rd time today. It'll be Josiah Morrissey, Cade Higgins, and Jack Rydell 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Foresters when we come back. Morrissey set to lead off the top of the third here. Takes ball 1 from Evan Larson. Count will be 0-1 against Morrissey, who brings his average
Morrissey followed by Higgins and Rydell. Forrester third.
of 296 coming into this one. That one's in there for strike 1. Larson gets the count back to even at 1-1. He has set the first 6 men down that he has faced. He's got 6 strikeouts mixed in there, a couple flyouts and a ground out to his credit. But in his second start, Larson has looked sharp early and now delivers a 1-1 to Morrissey. And that one is popped up. Infield will have a look as it ranges out of play. Samuelson gives it a look, but it finds itself in the Foresters' bullpen, visitors' bullpen. And it's 1-2 now. Larson is ahead in the count. So with the count at 1-2, Larson looks to put away another Forester with 2 strikes. No one on and no out as we are in the top of the third. No score, Blues and Foresters. 1-2. Larson looks in and deals. That was swung on and missed for strike 3. One away for Cade Higgins. Now 4 strikeouts for Larson, all 4 swinging, and that'll bring Cade Higgins, the right fielder, to the plate. That's with no one on and 1 away. Larson has looked sharp early. First 7 men up, first 7 men down. And here's Higgins versus Larson for the first time today. First pitch from Evan. Swung on and missed for strike 1, and the off-speed pitches have looked sharp from Evan Larson here early. No balls and 1 strike. Higgins takes strike 2, and Larson has quickly gotten ahead. And 2 strikes on Higgins.
Remember at the first meeting, a 5-0 loss for the Foresters against SLO back on June 24th. They had just 4 hits. It was their first shutout loss since July 2019 against the Riptide.
0-2.
The 0-2 home.
Fastball high, elevated for ball 1, and Higgins with a good take stays alive in a 1-2 count.
All 4 hits.
Right fielder with the average just under 300, facing Larson for the first time today, who just struck out Morrissey. There's 1 out. We're in the top of the third, and now there's 2 outs as Higgins swings and misses through that one. Shell throws on to first to complete the strikeout. It is now 5 strikeouts for Evan Larson, 8 up and 8 down for him. And Jack Rydell, who we saw almost make a tremendous play, leaping catch at shortstop, looked to come down awkwardly, but is still in this one and looks to be fine. Rydell, freshman at North Carolina, Tar Heel, talented shortstop who we saw bat in the 2-hole against the Blues in their first outing. He only reached on a walk and was 0 for 3. First pitch from Larson to Rydell is half-heartedly swung on and missed for strike 1. All 5 strikeouts for Larson swinging, and Rydell now in an 0-1 count early. And that is 0-2. Larson has looked sharp as he paints the outside corner like an artist. Quickly 2 away here in the top of the third, no score. And Rydell already in an 0-2 count versus Evan Larson, who has been and has looked as sharp as he's been all year. 0-2, swung on, and it's a swinging bunt back to Shell. Digs it out of the grass, throws to first. It is another 1-2-3 inning for Evan Larson. He has retired the first 9 he has seen, and we will head to the bottom of the third, still scoreless. Blues bats trying to change that and take the lead for the first time today. It's 0-0. We'll head to the bottom of the third, and it will indeed be Cole Reeves facing the Blues for his third time. And as Evan Larson has looked more than sharp, razor sharp. Evan in his second start, looking good, just like he did in his first. And after coming off of a tough outing out of the bullpen, Larson has responded with 3 1-2-3 innings and 5 Ks to his credit. Evan now with 18 strikeouts on the season. I'll be back with you for the Blues bats, bottom third of their lineup when we come back. No score in Sinsheimer. Blues and Foresters for the second time this year. I'll be right back after a short break. Thanks for hanging out and spending your Tuesday evening with us on the Blues Streaming Network. Ruben Mercado set to lead off the bottom of the third for the Blues. His first at-bat versus Cole Reeves, who delivers strike 1 to Mercado. That is swung on and missed. 0-1 is the count. There's no outs. We are in the bottom of the third. Still no score between the Blues and Foresters. Blues come in, 3-game winning streak, all in conference to get them tied with Santa Barbara at the top of the CCL South. 0-1 is fouled off. It's now 0-2 quickly. So whoever wins this one will be in sole possession of first place. But, of course, these teams will meet tomorrow, same place, same time. But the task at hand, a win in this one, gets on top of the CCL South, albeit for maybe just 24 hours. That one's fouled off. Mercado stays alive. Count remains the same at 0-2. There's no outs. We're in the bottom of the third. Still no score.
Punched out 4 batters through his
Mercado playing his summer ball for Coach Miller. Part of an extremely talented left side of this infield. 0-2 the count.
Baseman Zobak playing even with the bag.
Fouled off again. Mercado has seen 4 pitches and seen all strikes. No outs, and it's another souvenir for a fan. Still no outs as Mercado's in an 0-2 count versus Reeves. That one's lined out to left. That'll drop for a base hit. Mercado sees nothing but strikes and finds himself safe on first with a single. And that brings the leadoff hitting Ryan Cermak. And since being inserted into that leadoff spot, the average has skyrocketed. He's added to his RBI total, and he's looked more like the Cermak of the first half of this season. Now in the second half, he's 0-1 with a strikeout, but Cermak is putting the ball in play more often and bats with no one out and 1 on. Checking on Mercado at first is Reeves. He is safe. Still no outs in the bottom of the third. Still no score. And the Blues leadoff hitter trying to change that as Mercado reaches. And he's 1-for-1 with a single. 3 base hits for the Blues. All singles. Stranded 2 in the last half inning. In the last inning, I should say. Men on first and second with 2 outs. Bologna and Martinez singled in that inning. Mercado singles to lead off this one. And Cermak takes ball 1. Reeves will check first out of the corner of his eye and now deliver a 1-0 to Ryan Cermak. Swung on and foul tipped. It is 1-1.
Ball, 1 strike. Cermak.
With the count even, Cermak bats with Mercado on first. First time, second straight inning in which the Blues have had the leadoff man on via a single. Mercado following Martinez's lead. And here's a 1-1 to Cermak. That is taken for ball 2. Keys for Cermak. Taking pitches off the plate, shrinking his strike zone up. And again, barreling the ball up. We've seen him hit it to the gap as of late. 2-1 to the junior out of Illinois State. That one's hit down the line in left in foul territory. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Cermak.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Due up is Mason Grotto, who popped out to second and was behind 0-2. And we've mentioned many times this season how little Grotto strikes out. Cermak a little more prone to the K as of late, but when he's put the ball in play, he's found himself safe and on the base paths and stealing bases in that process, causing some chaos out there. Has himself on a 2-2 count with 1 man on and still no score in the bottom of the third. Blues and Foresters going at it here for the top in the CCL South. 2-2 to Cermak is fouled out of play, and it's still 2-2 with Mercado at first. Reeves dealing with Cermak for the second time today. Took care of him relatively easily in the top of the first. Took care of the first 3 men at the top of this Blues lineup relatively easily. We'll see how he fares the second time around. 2-2 to Cermak. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and he has struck out Cermak both times. He's 0 for 2. That'll welcome Grotto to the plate. Mercado still safe at first. Now there's 1 away in the bottom of the third. So with 1 on and 1 out, it's Grotto at the plate. Popped out to second in his first at-bat. Second in the CCL, an average in RBIs. Takes away inside ball 1.
Much like Mercado at first base, started his college career under Bob Miller at Cuesta.
The 1-0 from Reeves to Grotto. Taken for ball 2, and after being behind 0-2 in his first at-bat versus Reeves, Grotto gets ahead in this one 2-0. Mercado singled to lead off the inning, safe there at first. There's 1 out as Cermak struck out, and Grotto in a 2-0 count awaits the third pitch from Cole Reeves. Swung on, and it's a one-hopper to Cachel at third. He'll throw on to second. It gets away, and in the process, both men will advance. Grotto is safe at second, and Mercado at third. We're going to rule that an E3 on Andrew Cachel, who we mentioned, E5, who's been as hot as any bat in the CCL, but that throwing error as he tossed Morrissey at second, it got away. It was errant. Grotto, who would have been safe at first, possibly on a fielder choice, and Mercado out at second. It is now the worst of possibilities for the Foresters and Reeves. Grotto is safe at second, and Mercado safe at third with just 1 out, and Austin Shell at the plate. That is ball 1 to Austin Shell. Catcher out of Cal State Fullerton looking to add to his RBI total. We mentioned he's tied for second in that category with Cermak at 18. Quick meeting of the minds on the mound. So Grotto reaches on the E5, throwing error from Andrew Cachel. Mercado is safe at third. Blues are in business now and certainly threatening with 2 men in scoring position. Shell at the plate, one of their hotter bats, and a chance for the second straight game against the Foresters to take the lead early. And Evan Larson, who's looked sharp. We'll see if he's back out for a 4th inning of work But the business at hand for Austin Shell at the plate, batting with men on second and third in a 1-0 count. There's just one out. We're in the bottom of the third, still scoreless. And Austin Shell trying to change that. 1-0 is taken low, ball 2.
2 balls and no strikes. The open base at first, and perhaps that's what the discussion is.
Two-0 to Shell. Fouled straight back, and it's 2-1. So we mentioned Austin was 2 for 4 in this first matchup against the Foresters. Had a single and a double that drove in the second run of the game. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking in this one. He was the third out of the bottom of the first. Now the fourth man to step to the plate for the Blues in the bottom of the third. Swings and misses through a 2-1. And we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count to Austin Shell. There's just one man out with Grotto at second and Mercado at third. In a scoreless ball game, still bottom of the third, and it's the best chance either team has had to score a run today. The first run for the Blues just 90 feet away in the form of Ruben Mercado, who singled to lead off the bottom of the third. 2-2 to Shell is fouled away, and straight back, it's still 2-2.
More life for Shell.
2-2 to Shell. That one is hit to Rydell at short, and he will take the out at first while a run scores. It is an RBI ground out for Austin Shell. Mercado comes in to give the Blues the lead at 1-0. Now there's 2 away with Grotto at third, Martinez at the plate, who's 1 for 1 with a single. It's 1-0 Blues as they have taken the lead in the bottom of the third against the Santa Barbara Foresters. And Cole Reeves, who came into this one only having pitched 2 innings. He looked sharp through 2 in this one. Now dealing with a bit of trouble through 2 2/3. Will face Martinez for the second time today. Grotto's safe at third, and he originally reached on an error. Martinez swings and misses errantly through a pitch that was way high and could have been taken for ball 1, but it's 0-1. Again, there's 2 outs. Grotto at third, and with the Shell ground out, Mercado scored from third, and it's 1-0 San Luis Obispo. 0-1. That breaking ball is feathered in there for strike 2.
That big curveball from Cole Reeves.
No balls and 2 strikes to the cleanup hitting DH, Vince Martinez, who lines one into center. It's another RBI for Vince Martinez. It is 2-0 Blues. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles, another RBI in his 4 starts with the Blues. He's got 4 RBIs. He's safe at first for the second consecutive inning, and that'll bring Samuelson to the plate with Martinez safe at first, and the Blues ahead now 2-0. Samuelson, who struck out back in the second, 0 for 1 today versus Reeves. Stands in with Martinez safe at first. Again, the exact same situation as his first at-bat. Swung on and fouled away. 0-1. And Reeves has given up 2 now, but that error looming large in this inning. It was a double play ball to third. Tossed on to second errantly. Found its way in the outfield. And as a result, the men who would come around to score, Mercado and Grotto, were safe at second and third. Have both come in to score in this inning. Samuelson fouls off a souvenir. It's 0-2. Martinez drove in Grotto on that last base hit and single. So he's 2 for 2. The only Blue that has reached in both plate appearances so far. And it looks like Martinez was indeed just getting warm, but the ribbies have come in bunches. He's got 4. Samuelson swings and misses and strikes out for the second time today, but not before the Blues plate 2. They take the early lead over the Foresters. It's 2-0. And we will head to the top of the fourth. First lead of the game goes to San Luis Obispo. It's a 2-run lead. It's 2-0, and a good start. As Blues pitching will have their first cushion of the day, and we'll see if they can hang on. Blues take an early 2-0 lead after the bottom of the third. We'll head to the top of the fourth now and see how the Foresters respond when we come back. It will indeed be Evan Larson now pitching with a cushion. And when we come back, it'll be his fourth inning of work. He's looked excellent through 3. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be right back after a short break on the Blues Streaming Network. And thanks for making us a part of your Tuesday evening. Top of the fourth, it's 2-0 Blues after a 2-run bottom of the third gave them that lead, and now it's a cushion for Evan Larson, who he'll work with and deal ball 1 to Kendall Pettis. Second time facing Pettis today, struck him out swinging back in the first. Larson, who has set the first 9 men down that he has seen, starts his fourth inning of work. And again, as mentioned, now pitches with a 2-0 cushion. That is inside and hits Pettis. It's the first base runner of the day for the Foresters, as Pettis is hit by a pitch and will be safe at first base to lead off the top of the fourth. Cachel steps in now, and of course he's been the most top bat, leading the team in that category. Average, walks, is now 500 in his last 26 at-bats. He's got 13 hits in his last 26 at-bats. Runner takes off for second. Shell, a good throw there, but got him. And Pettis is perplexed, but it was a throw on an absolute line from Shell, frozen rope to second, and he guns Pettis out at second. It is a key first out after hitting Pettis. The first base runner of the day only lasts 1 pitch on the base paths. There's now 1 out for Cachel, who took ball 1. And he'll await the second pitch now from Larson, but there is no one on and 1 out now as he'll pitch to Cachel, who he also struck out in the top of the first. So what looked like it might be a Forester in scoring position is instead a man who is thrown out at second. Pettis was trying to steal, and if he was successful, it would have been stolen base number 9 for him this season. The man at the plate actually leads the team in that category with 11, and part of it has been his ability to just get on. He's been walked 16 times, and when he does, he tries to steal. 1-0 to Cachel, swung on and missed. Count even now at 1-1. So Cachel leads the team in hits by 6. Leads them in walks, stolen bases, and average. So a dangerous bat, and Larson trying to deal with him for the second time today. 1-1, and Cachel takes strike 2. Larson, man, he's looked sharp. A lot of pitches swung on and missed through. A lot of pitches taken for strikes, and no wasted pitches from Evan Larson. After hitting Pettis, he was thrown out at second, so there's 1 away. There's no one on. It's 2-0 Blues, and Andrew Cachel is in a 1-2 count. Here it is from Larson. It is popped up. Infield will have a look. It's Kretschmar calling for it in shallow right. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away.
There are 2 outs. Powering up.
Quickly 2 away for Steven Zobak. Flew out to center to end the top of the first. So 0 for 1 already against Larson. That's with no one on and 2 outs. Larson has sat down now. 10 of the 11 men he's faced. Only base runner he's allowed was Pettis after hitting him. And then Shell threw him out at second. Delivers ball 1 to Zobak, who's 0 for 1 today, as mentioned. And here's the 1-0 from Larson to Zobak. That's strike 1, and Larson continues to paint the outside corner with the fastball, getting the count even now. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the man who can pitch and hit, batting third today and playing first base, Steven Zobak. 1-1, outside, ball 2. Zobak, the average at 370, and this is now his 29th at-bat. So productive no matter where you put him. On the mound or at the plate. 2-1 is the count to Evan Larson. Looking for the call, and it's the first 3-ball count. Check that. 3 balls and 1 strike to Zobak. 2 away and no one on. Top of the fourth, 2-0 Blues. 3-1. Fouled off, and the count is full now at 3-2. Larson a strike away from facing the minimum through 4. He's through 3 2/3. And an important pitch coming now to Zobak. Righty on lefty, and here is the payoff pitch. It is low, and it is the first walk allowed from Larson. Zobak will reach first, and now he'll have to deal with Ryan Robleski, the man who's been doing the catching today. 1 on and 2 away for Robleski. We're in the top of the fourth. It is 2-0 Blues.
Marshallers have a 2-out base runner for Ryan Robleski. Robleski flew out to right field.
For Zobak, it's his 6th walk this year. And Robleski now with his average of 348. Faces Larson for the second time today. That one's high in his side. Robleski flew out to right in his first at-bat. That led off the top of the second. Larson checks first out of the corner of his eye, and now delivers a 1-0. Runner does take off for second. It's swung on and hit to Mercado at short. Plays a 1-hopper on to first, and that is the inning. Foresters get 2 men on after being hit by a pitch and walked, but a throw out from Shell to second base gave Larson a chance to face the minimum. He then walked Zobak, and Robleski, with Zobak on first, grounded out to short. So through 4, Evan Larson has gone through 4 and not given up a hit, only walked 1 and hit 1. He's got 5 strikeouts to his credit. He has only thrown 13 balls out of his 43 pitches, 30 strikes, and Evan Larson's been razor sharp. It'll be Cole Reeves set to try and get through the Blues lineup as we'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Our score is still 2-0, and Evan Larson protects that lead valiantly, allowing 2 men to reach, but has still sat down 12 of the first 14 men he has faced and has not given up a hit. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. It's 2-0 Blues, and the Bats trying to tack onto that one. I'll be right back after a short break on the Blue Streaming Network. Here's TJ Clarkson leading off the bottom of the fourth for the Blues. They lead 2-0 versus Cole Reeves, who surrendered those 2 runs. And the bottom of the third, now it's TJ Clarkson taking strike 1. He struck out to Reeves. Back in the bottom of the second. That was the second out of that inning. 0-1 from Reeves to Clarkson, and that swung on and fouled away. 0-1. 0-2. Clarkson stands in, no one on and no out. Facing Reeves for the second time today. No balls and 2 strikes. That one's lined out to right. Leaping is Higgins, but he can't make the catch. Clarkson rounds first, will be into second. And what looked like it might be hit on a line to Higgins, he had to range back, and it's over his head. It's a double for TJ Clarkson and the first extra base hit of the day for either team. He's safe at first with a stand-up double. That'll bring Bologna to the plate. Blues have a man in scoring position with no one out. We're in the bottom of the fourth. They already lead 2-0. Bologna is 1 for 1 with a single. We've seen a couple hits now for the Blues be hit just in front of the outfielders, and that one just getting over the glove of Higgins and allowing Clarkson to reach second. Reeves now pitches to Bologna, who shows a bunt, pops it up, and it'll be 0-1. Interesting to see Vinny bunting, but the strategy here, move that man over to third if you can. Coach Miller with the sign on, and Bologna taking it. Interesting to see if we'll see a second attempt to bunt or if Bologna will swing away. But it's Clarkson safe at second to lead off the bottom of the fourth. He doubles. He's now 1 for 2 today. And Bologna bats with no one out and Clarkson in scoring position. Bologna swings and misses. It's now 0-2. That double by Clarkson, the 5th hit of the day for the Blues. First of the extra base variety. Bologna's only 2 hits this season of the extra base variety. Fouled away, and Vinny will stay alive in the count, still 0-2. Count and situation remaining the same. No balls, 2 strikes to Bologna. There's no outs with Clarkson on second as he doubled to lead off this bottom of the fourth. Still 2-0 Blues as they threaten to tack on here against Cole Reeves, who has gotten through 3, giving up 2, and searching 3 outs here with the man in scoring position. He'll check second. Clarkson's still there, and now he'll deal an 0-2 to Bologna. That one's fouled away. Bologna's seen 4 pitches, has fouled 2 away back-to-back, and is still alive at the plate. Vinny, in the first weekend he got here, started on Friday, got a double, did not play in the Saturday ball game of that weekend series. Then on Sunday would send a go-ahead 2-run homer in the bottom of the 8th to left center to give the Blues an eventual 4-3 win. And we mentioned that at home, as of late, they have come through in close ball games, trying to give some more cushion in this one. That one is way inside, and it hits Vinny. He'll be safe at first as he'll strut down to first base with a bruise and a base on balls. Not a base on balls. Hit by a pitch. Bologna's just been hit by a pitch for the 3rd time this year. He's safe at first base. Here comes Forrester's manager, Bill Pintar, and he's been with the team. He's been managing the team since '95, has been around forever, and having a conversation with his starter, Cole Reeves, who has given up a leadoff double and has just hit Vinny Bologna. He took first pitch after being hit by a pitch. He did not walk. He was hit by the pitch. That'll bring Austin Kretschmar to the plate. And similarly, Kretschmar will step to the plate. In his first at-bat, he had men on first and second, but there was one out. Now there's men on first and second, and there's no outs for the infielder out of Stanford. This meeting on the mound, taking some time. See if don't expect to see a pitching change here. It'll still be Cole Reeves. Indeed, it will. And he'll have to face Austin Kretschmar for the second time today. Thing going for Reeves is that he got Kretschmar to pop out to first in his first at-bat in the bottom of the second. A little more tension here as Clarkson has doubled and Bologna's been hit by a pitch, so it's men on first and second to lead off the bottom of the fourth. There's no outs for Kretschmar at the plate. Looking for his first RBI as a Blue.
This ballpark, it's the opposite. So Reeves will stay in the game and face Kretschmar.
Before delivering the first pitch to Kretschmar, he'll step off and force Clarkson to head back into second base. Kretschmar facing Reeves for the second time today. Check second and now deals. Kretschmar lays down a bunt but doesn't pull away in time. It's strike one. Cacho was coming on from third in case it was put down to the left side. So for the second straight at bat, Blues hitter showing bunt and taking strike one. Sign from Coach Miller now to Kretschmar as Reeves will check on Clarkson at second twice. And the bunt's still down, but that one's pulled away. Throw to second. TJ is safe. Dangerous living out at second base with a healthy lead. Throw from Robleski was in, but just a bit late. Count is 1-1 now to Kretschmar, who's 0 for 1. No outs. Bottom of the fourth. 2-0 Blues. Reeves to Kretschmar. Bunt down and foul. Would have been a good one hit down to first, and Zobak would have had to come on and dig it out of the grass and figure out where the out would be. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sign from Coach Miller to Kretschmar. Men on first and second. It's Clarkson at second and Bologna at first. Still no outs and still 2-0 Blues. We're in the bottom of the fourth, and Reeves still hunting for that first out in the inning. He'll deliver another pitch to Kretschmar. It's taken for ball 2. Throw on to first, gets away. Runners can advance. It'll be Bologna heading into second and Clarkson heading into third. It's a throwing error on Robleski. Was gunning down to Zobak at first. It gets away. It finds itself into right field. And now Bologna finds himself at second base. Clarkson finds himself at third base. There are no outs. It's a 2-2 count to Austin Kretschmar. Trying to add now to the Blues' 2-0 lead. Can do so with putting the ball in play. 2-2 to Kretschmar. Swung on and missed strike 3. Reeves, who mixes up a fastball and slider combination, gets Kretschmar with the breaking pitch. And Mercado, who's already 1 for 1 with a single. Chance to get his first RBI in a while. We've seen Ruben getting on base more frequently, but a chance to bring in some runs here in what is a key at-bat for Mercado, who's 1 for 1. Bats with Bologna on second and Clarkson at third. First pitch, swung on and missed. So now there's 1 out in the bottom of the third. The strikeout of Kretschmar has him 0 for 2. Mercado singled back in the third. He's at the plate for the second consecutive inning, this time with men in scoring position. He's not leading it off. A chance to bring some in. Time called by Robleski, and he'll cycle through the signs one more time with Cole Reeves, who got a key first out, gets a first pitch strike to Mercado, and is hunting out 2. Mercado looking to plate 2, men on second and third. Bunt down, popped up, and Robleski will have an easy catch for out 2, and Ruben's mad at himself. Tried to lay the bunt down, instead popped it up. It is out number 2 now. So an unfortunate outcome in that at-bat. Now it'll be Cermak, who has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2. But again, a chance to tack on to what is a 2-0 lead for the Blues. A chance to tack on for the Blues, but a chance for Reeves to strand 2 men in scoring position. He started. Cermak lines one to left. That'll plate Clarkson. Bologna will round third and try to score. Throw-in is in time. He is out. Bologna appealing, but it is the third out. It is the third run. Yeah, it's 3-0 Blues on the RBI single from Ryan Cermak. Bologna tried to make it 4-0. He was out at the plate, and we saw that actually a couple times in the first matchup with the Foresters. But through 4, it is 3-0 Blues. They do indeed add one more, and it is now 3-0 in favor of San Luis Obispo. Through 4, it's a healthy lead. Blues look to hang on, and the Foresters' bats will try to get their first hit. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Statistician Max Lober informing me that although Cole Reeves has allowed 3 runs to score, none have been earned. These errors really looming large. An E5 back in the 3rd, in which 2 runs would score, and the E2 that allowed men to advance to 2nd and 3rd, also allowing the runs to remain unearned for Cole Reeves. So he's through 4, has given up 3 runs, none of which have been earned. His infield has cost him with some costly errors. It's 3-0 Blues. We'll head to the top of the 5th, and the Foresters' bats looking to respond when we come back after their short break. Thanks for hanging out and making us a part of your Tuesday evening on the Blues Streaming Network. Welcome back. We are in the top of the 5th now. It's 3-0 Blues, and Evan Larson, who's been excellent, delivers strike 1 to Tanner Otremba, the DH batting 5th today. So 0-1 the count to him. Blues were able to tack on one more. Bologna trying to make it 4-0, rounding 2nd and trying to score from there. Was thrown out at the plate. 0-1 to Otremba. Fouled off. It's 0-2. But Larson set to start now his 5th inning of work. Through 4, he's allowed 2 men to reach. Those both came back in the top of the 4th, in which he hit Pettis, who tried to steal 2nd and was thrown out, and Zobak, who was walked. And then 2 pitches later, Robleski would ground out to short. So the base runners not necessarily causing any damage. And that one did. A breaking pitch that falls in for strike 3. Larson strikes out Otremba for the second time today, this time looking, and there's one away.
047 You got hot sauce with the marketing.
More hot sauce and more strikeouts for Larson. That gives him now 6. And 19 on the season. He faces Casagrande for the second time today. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second. Larson delivers. That one's popped up, and the infield will have a look. It's Tate Samuelson calling for it and making the catch and foul ground. 1 pitch and now a second out. Here's Josiah Morrissey, one of Larson's 6 strikeout victims. That came back in the 5th. Quickly 2 away. No one on for Morrissey. It's 3-0 Blues, and Larson is through 4 2/3. This has been the quickest he's gotten 2 outs in an inning. They have been quick. That's in there for strike 1, and Larson has been sharp on the first pitch, getting ahead of these Foresters' bats, and now can pitch more confidently and loosely, knowing he has the 3-run cushion. 0-1. Fouled off to the left side, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Josiah Morrissey. Larson shakes off the first call. He liked that one. Swung on and missed strike 3. 7 Ks for Larson. It's another 1-2-3 inning. He has set the Foresters down 1-2-3 in 4 of his 5 innings. He's through 5, holding the Foresters scoreless. Has only allowed 2 base runners on a walk and a man who was hit by a pitch. Through 4.5, it is 3-0 Blues, and their bats will quickly be back up to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. With that 3-0 lead, Evan Larson has been flat out phenomenal, striking out 7, only allowing 2 base runners on a man who was walked and a man who was hit by a pitch, both not amounting to anything. It's 3-0 Blues. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th here at Sinsheimer after the short break. Through 5 innings pitched for Evan Larson, he has thrown 50 pitches. 50 pitches! Just unbelievable. Here is Mason Grotto leading off the bottom of the 5th. First pitch from Reeves to Grotto is popped up, and Reeves himself will make the catch. So leading off the bottom of the 5th, it's 1 pitch and 1 out, something we never see from Mason Grotto. But he pops out to Reeves, and there's 1 away for Austin Shell. That's with no one on, and the Blues leading 3-0. Shell has struck out and brought in the first run of the game on a ground out to short. Reeves to Shell, that's strike 1. But Thorey fought the pitching of Evan Larson, who in his previous 2 outings has come out of the bullpen and pitched in relief. Got 1 start. This is just his 2nd start. and has held the Foresters scoreless through 5 and has only allowed 2 men to reach. Shell deep out to left center. This one's going back at the track, at the wall. It is caught. Wow. Shell looked like he might go deep, looked like it might be off the top of the wall. It would have been extra bases nonetheless, but Kendall Pettis says no, sir, and makes the catch at the wall. There's 2 away for Vince Martinez. So a loud second out from Austin Shell, and that'll bring Vince Martinez to the plate, who's 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. Drove in the second run of this game to make it 2-0. It stands at 3-0 now. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Reeves facing Martinez for the 3rd time today. Delivers strike 1 to the cleanup hitting DH. And in talking to Coach Miller, we hear the excitement in his voice when he mentioned that even when the Blues were playing well early, he's like, we haven't even gotten our guys from Stanford yet. Vince Martinez, a guy who has come in and fit in seamlessly with this Blues lineup. Driven in 4 runs, and this is his now 4th start. Here's a 1-1 from Reeves to Martinez. That one's popped up. Infield will have a look. It is Morrissey making the catch on from second. It's a 1-2-3 inning from Cole Reeves, and we will head to the 6th. It's 3-0 Blues. And I'm on the edge of my seat to see if Evan Larson is out for a 6th inning of work. He's only thrown 50 pitches. I imagine he will be.
All right, fans, you're going to see some our intern setting up a pocket behind the plate.
We'll keep you on the edge of your seat as well. We'll be right back for the top of the 6th. It's 3-0 Blues. When we come back, thank you so much for making us a part of your Tuesday evening here on the Blues Streaming Network. I'm Zach Ebrahim, and I hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have. I'll be right back. We will head to the top of the 6th. And yes, Evan Larson is still out there. He's thrown 50 pitches through 5 innings. He has shut out the Foresters through 5. He's allowed 2 men to reach on a base on balls and hitting Kendall Pettis, who would then be out at second trying to steal on the next pitch. It's Cade Higgins facing Larson for the second time today. He is one of now his, let's see here. He's one of his 7 strikeout victims. Lefty on righty. There's no one on and no one out. We're in the top of the 6th. It's 3-0 Blues. Larson delivers the first pitch, and it is swung on and missed for strike 1. What we're seeing from Evan when he comes out from the dugout to the mound to warm up for the following inning, he's like skipping there. He's hopping, and he's full of energy. He's thrown 51 pitches now. Here's the 0-1 to Higgins. That one's in the dirt, ball 1. But clearly excited to get the start today. Clearly happy with his performance, shutting out a Foresters team that we mentioned is averaging 9 runs per game and 10 hits coming into this one. 1-1 to Cade Higgins. Strike 2, and that breaking ball falls in for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Higgins. We're in the top of the 6th. It's 3-0 Blues. Evan Larson has thrown 53 pitches on the doorstep of a 8th strikeout, I mean. There it is. Swung on and missed strike 3, and he got him. That makes it 8 Ks for Evan Larson. He's through 5 1/3 innings pitched. He's thrown 54 pitches. Efficiency personified tonight from Evan Larson, who's just getting his 2nd start of the season and is facing Jack Rydell now for the 2nd time today. Rydell, of course, 0 for 1 against him. Grounded out to first base. Excuse me. 1 away, top of the 6th, 0-1 on. 3-0 Blues our score. Larson delivers to the shortstop from North Carolina. Ball 1. Rydell in his freshman year at the University of North Carolina. Got limited work in. Here's a 1-0 to him now. Swung on and missed. Count even now. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rydell. There's 1 away. Cade Higgins struck out on 4 pitches. 1-1 from Evan Larson. In there, strike 2 called. And Larson continues to get the swing and miss. He continues to paint the outside part of that zone. He's through 5 1/3. Has held the Foresters scoreless. It's 3-0. 1-2. Got him. 9 strikeouts for Evan Larson. And we'll work our way back to the top. And Kendall Pettis, who is one of the 2 Foresters that's reached in this one, he's been hit by a pitch. Pettis struck out swinging back in the 1st, was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Now faces Larson. Shows bunt. That one's high and inside, taken for ball 1. Infield going to come in if Pettis shows bunt again. They're going to do whatever to keep him off the base paths. He's already been caught stealing once after he was hit by a pitch. On the consecutive pitch, he would try to steal second. 1-0 the count. Larson looks in and deals. Curve ball. Man, it looked like a strike from here. It's 2-0 now. He has struck out 3 straight Foresters, Morrissey, Higgins, and Rydell. We'll work our way back to the top of the lineup now. 2-0 to Pettis. Popped up, and it'll be a souvenir. It's out of play.
Oh, really?
That ball almost went out.
2 balls and 1 strike to Pettis. Larson trying to get through 6 full, shutting out Santa Barbara. Needs 1 more out to do it. Here's a 2-1 to Kendall Pettis. Shows bunt, takes ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to Pettis. Larson's got through 5 2/3. That's strike 2, and Pettis was ready to take off for ball 4, take off for first after ball 4, but the count is full. We saw this in Thousand Oaks on the 4th. An interesting timing between these balls and strike calls from home plate umpire. Count is full. Larson has walked 1 man. That was Steven Zobak. The man at the plate is the other man who's reached after being hit by a pitch. Here's a payoff pitch from Larson to Pettis. Popped up. Infield will have a look. It's Kretschmar at second. He makes the catch. Evan Larson has shut out the Santa Barbara Foresters through 6 full innings. He's allowed 2 base runners on a walk and hit by a pitch. Just incredible pitching from Evan Larson. He is in a zone. Efficiency personified. It's 3-0 Blues as we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. And Evan Larson has been magnificent. Our score 3-0. I'm going to settle down and come back for the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to San Luis Obispo Blues baseball on the Blues Streaming Network. This is the 75th anniversary of the Blues in SLO. We're at Sinsheimer Park, and we are witnessing greatness from Evan Larson on the mound, shutting out Santa Barbara through 6, only allowing 2 men to reach on a walk and hit by a pitch. It's 3-0. I'll be back with the bottom of the 6th. Thanks for hanging out. We're in the bottom of the 6th. There's a new pitcher on the mound. His name's Cooper Randall. Bill Pintar is having some animated words with this officiating crew, and he's being escorted by 2 now to the dugout. And man, he might have just gotten ejected, but we're not sure. He did? I think Bill Pintar has just been ejected. And it's been that type of frustrating night for the Santa Barbara Foresters. They've only gotten 2 men on base. Two base runners that were walked and hit by a pitch. Evan Larson threw 6 shutout innings, has thrown 64 pitches. I just can't wrap my brain around it. And here's Cooper Randall now to deliver to Tate Samuelson to lead off the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-0 Blues, and he takes strike 1. So it's the best pitching performance we've seen through any Blues starter through 6 innings, and it's against the team that is tied for first with the Blues at the top of the CCL South. Samuelson swings and misses. It's 0-2. The Foresters coming into this one average 9 runs a game, are hitting .285 as a team, get 10 hits per game, walk 7.5 times per game. That's outside ball 1. And it's a pitching staff that, I mean, they've held their own. ERA of 1.91 coming into this one. They've given up 3 runs. Blues lead by that margin. It's 3-0. Here's a 1-2 to Samuelson. It's high, ball 2. Cooper Randall now pitching in relief of the starter, Cole Reeves, who did all he could, giving up 3 runs, none of which were earned. Errors by Andrew Kachel and Robleski behind the plate. Swung on and missed strike 3 for Samuelson. He is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. That's the first out now, and that brings TJ Clarkson to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Lead-off double coming in the bottom of the 4th. He'd eventually come around to score on a Ryan Cermak RBI single. So Clarkson was the run that scored. That made it 3-0.
Held back by the other two. Apparently, coach said one thing too much.
That's strike 1 to TJ Clarkson. It's 3-0 Blues. Evan Larson has pitched 6 full innings. He has held the Foresters scoreless and has allowed only 2 men to reach. That's strike 2. Oh, 2 inside, and that hit Clarkson. TJ will take first base after being hit by a pitch. And we just noticed manager Bill Pintar walking in the visitors' bullpen and making his way out of Sinsheimer Park. Manager Bill Pintar has indeed been ejected. So he makes his way out of Sinsheimer. His team trailing 3-0. His team without a hit. And his team has only had 2 men on base today. Bologna's reached in 2 plate appearances. He's at the plate now after Clarkson was hit by a pitch. He's been hit by a pitch again. Bologna is going to take first base. Back-to-back hitters for the Blues have been hit by a pitch. And we saw this earlier in the season. Cooper Randall comes out and strikes out Tate Samuelson, hits TJ Clarkson, hits Vinny Bologna, and quickly a conversation on the mound with him as Austin Kretschmar will be at the plate. Every time Kretschmar has come to the plate, men have been on first and second. This time it's the same as his last at-bat. There's just 1 out. There have been 4 men now hit by a pitch in this game. Clarkson once, Bologna now twice, and Kendall Pettis, who was the first base runner of the day for the Foresters.
3-0, the Blues lead. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
Kretschmar is 0 for 2 in his 2 plate appearances. He has popped out to first and struck out. Bats now with Clarkson on second and Bologna on first. It was the same situation as when he came up to the plate back in the bottom of the 4th. It's the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-0 Blues, and there's 1 away. Kretschmar still hunting that first RBI. Randall delivers strike 1 to the infielder from Sanford. Blues lead 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th. There's 1 away, and there's 2 men on. That's a bit inside, but it moves over the plate for strike 2. Pitch that had late breaking movement gets Kretschmar in the hole 0-2. Blues with a couple bruises on the bases. Clarkson and Bologna. And Kretschmar, no 2-hole versus Cooper Randall. Lined into center. That'll drop for a base hit. Clarkson is at third and will be held. Bases will be loaded. There's 1 out for Ruben Mercado. Mercado, who's 1 for 2, singled back in the 3rd to lead off the inning, and then put down a bunt that was popped up, and eventually he would be out. Mercado bats with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Blues leading 3-0, and Cooper Randall tasked with getting out of a bases loaded jam. And his team trailing 3-0. Mercado takes outside, ball 1. Blues looking to provide cushion for whoever goes back out on the mound for the top of the 7th. And I know I speak for all of us when I say I hope it's Evan Larson. as he's only thrown 64 pitches through 6 innings. Mercado swings and misses through that one. The count is even at 1-1. It is Clarkson at third. He was hit by a pitch. It is Bologna at second. He was hit by a pitch. And it is Kretschmar at first. He singled to center. 1-1 to Mercado. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Randall searching for that key second out with the bases loaded and looking to limit the damage here. 3-0 Blues. Foresters being shut out. They've only had 2 base runners reach, one via a walk and one hit by a pitch. That's outside, ball 2. In this at-bat between Mercado and Randall, we'll see a 5th pitch. Still just the one out with the bases loaded, and due up is the leadoff hitter Ryan Cermak, who drove in the 3rd run of this game on a single back in the 4th. 2-2 to Ruben Mercado as Randall delivers. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
Breaking ball, Mercado down swinging. 2 outs in the last of the 6th.
Tough day for Mercado other than the single. Tried to lay down a bunt that was popped up and caught by Robleski behind the plate. Now strikes out with the bases loaded, but it brings Ryan Cermak to the plate, and we will see a pitching change before the at-bat takes place. So with the bases loaded and 2 outs, Ryan Cermak will be on to face a new pitcher for the Foresters, and we'll introduce you to him on the other end of this break. It's 3-0 Blues. We're in the bottom of the bottom of the 6th. And they are shutting out the Foresters. They're looking to tack on to what is a 3-0 lead, and we'll introduce you to the new Foresters pitcher when we come back on the other end of this break. Thanks for making us a part of your Tuesday evening on the Blue Streaming Network. It's another good one. It's 3-0. Nick Proctor is the new pitcher on the mound for the Foresters. He'll face the leadoff hitting center fielder Ryan Cermak, who is 1 for 3 with an RBI single that came back in the 4th. Bats now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th, and it's 3-0 Blues. First pitch from Proctor to Cermak is in there for strike 1. Proctor on the season brings an ERA of 0 into this one. He has not given up a run, and he has not given up a hit. I know another pitcher who has done the same in this game. 0-1 the count to Ryan Cermak. There's 2 outs. Bases are loaded. Blues certainly threatening. And they've threatened to score now in 4 consecutive innings. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 0-1 to Cermak. Inside. Ball one. So a 1-1 count to Cermak. Clarkson and Bologna are on second and third. They were both hit by a pitch. And Kretschmar, nice piece of hitting, single to center. 1-1 to Cermak. Base is juiced. Fouls one back. It's a souvenir, and it's 1-2.
All right, that's right. Nice job there. Man of the great stretcher, you can pick that one home courtesy of Splash Cafe.
3-0 Blues in the bottom of the sixth, and Cermak looking to add to that. With the bases loaded, here's a 1-2 from Nick Proctor, newly inserted and facing his first man at the plate, strikes out Cermak. Blues strand the bases loaded after Clarkson was hit by a pitch. Bologna was hit by a pitch. Kretschmar singled. Mercado and Cermak strike out to end the inning. It is still 3-0 Blues. And we are on the edge of our seats because we wonder and we hope that Evan Larson will be out. He will not be out. Evan Larson, his day is done. But he went through 6 full innings. It's the longest any starter has gone for the Blues this season. He threw 64 pitches. He had 8 strikeouts. He held the Foresters to 2 base runners. He walked Zobak, and he hit Pettis. That was it. He had the most impressive start of any Blues pitcher. Evan Larson's day is done. It's Sam Page set to pitch in relief. Sam Page faced the Foresters back on June 24th. Had a 1-2-3 inning. We'll look to do the same here on July 6th as we head to the top of the 7th. Still 3-0 Blues. Day done for Evan Larson after he was unbelievably good. Terrific outing for Evan Larson. Sam Page set to pitch in relief of him. I'll take a really short break and be back with you for the top of the 7th. We're in the top of the 7th. It's 3-0 Blues. Sam Page is pitching in relief of Evan Larson, who was downright magnificent. He faces Andrew Kachel, who's 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a pop out to second. Count is 1-1. Page pitching in relief. Went a full inning against the Foresters back on the 24th of June and had a 1-2-3 inning. Pitches with a 3-0 cushion here in the top of the 7th. Swung on and hit out to center by Kachel. Cermak will range on and make the catch. There's one away.
Well, for 3 nights so far for Andrew Kachel.
That comes now Steven Zobak. 0 for 1, fly out to center, and he walked back in the 4th. He is one of 2 men to have reached in this game, the Foresters. First pitch from Page to Zobak is inside, ball 1.
Sam Page, when these 2 teams met in Santa Barbara back on June 24th, pitched the score this inning. Struck out 2 batters.
It's 3-0 Blues. We're in the top of the 7th. Here's a 1-0.
1-0 home.
Zoback pops that one up. Infield will have a look, but now it's Cermak and Grotto. Grotto will make the catch in left field. Quickly 2 away, and that'll bring Ryan Robleski to the plate. Robleski, who's 0 for 2 and has committed an error, and that was a costly one. Part of the reason that the 3 runs given up by Cole Reeves were all unearned. Fly out to center and a fly out to left. Have quickly 2 away, and Robleski will bat with no one on and 2 outs against Sam Page, who has come in relief of Evan Larson and sat the first 2 men down that he has seen. Mentioned that back on the 24th. He pitched a scoreless inning. Did not allow anyone to reach. 2 strikeouts in that outing as well. Page, who in his last 2 outings has actually not recorded an out, gets 2 quickly here and delivers ball 1 to Robleski. Page, who struggled in an appearance over a week ago against the Humboldt Crabs, then came in to pitch in Irvine, did not record an out in that either. Swung on and missed. The count is 1-1 to Ryan Robleski. Page seems to have come in and gotten 2 quick outs. And Page, who never lacks confidence, never lacks swagger, seems to have gotten that in full effect here as he's gotten Robleski to swing and miss through a second straight pitch. It is 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the catcher for the Foresters, who's already 0 for 2 today. And Page, a strike away from a 1-2-3 inning, and he'll try to do his best impression of Evan Larson. Lined out to left and caught by Grotto. It is a 1-2-3 inning for Sam Page, pitching in relief of Evan Larson. The Foresters have been shut out through 7. It's 3-0 Blues, and they'll have a chance to tack on to that lead when we come back in the bottom of the 7th. Before then, let's all take a moment and stretch. We have reached the bottom of the 7th, and we have done so with the Blues leading 3-0. Mason Grotto set to lead off this inning, and he'll do so, lining one out to left center. It'll drop for a base hit. Grotto trying to turn a single into a double. He hesitates now, is sliding into second. And what would have been a stand-up double for Grotto is a sliding double. He is safe at second regardless, and as a result is a little bit dirty. So some dirt comes with his extra base hit. He's safe at second to lead off the inning, and that'll bring Austin Shell with the plate, already with an RBI to his credit to give him 19 on the season, excuse me. Him and Cermak now tied for second on the team with 19 RBIs. Grotto doubles, and Shell is at the plate. There's no outs, and Grotto at second. Cooper Randall throws into second. That gets away momentarily as I believe that's Kachel. Yeah, there's been some movement on this infield. So Morrissey is playing third base now. Kachel is playing short. That was interesting. Grotto's safe at second. He led off the inning with a double. Shell takes strike one. Oh and 1 to Austin Shell. 0 and 2 now. Proctor has quickly delivered 2 strikes to Austin Shell. Grotto's safe at second. 0 and 2 to Shell as Proctor will check second. Grotto's still there. And deal. Swung on and missed by Shell. It's a 3-pitch strikeout. Here's Vince Martinez. 2 for 3 with 2 singles and an RBI to his credit. It's looking to drive in Grotto from second. It's Grotto's first hit of the day. Mason Grotto has still gotten a hit in every game he has started. Here's Martinez. His 4th start as a Blue. He's got 4 RBIs to his credit. First pitch from Proctor to Martinez is sent out to left center. It'll drop and get over the head of Pettis. He played it on a hop, but he let it get over him. Martinez is trying to turn this into a triple. He will. And it's 4-0. Man, we've just seen some interesting bounces in that outfield, and that one went over the head of Pettis. Tried to play it on a hop, but got a little in front of it. It ended up over his head. Grotto scores to make it 4-0. Martinez has brought in another run. He's 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a triple. And here's Tate Samuelson now, who bats with Martinez at third and 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. It is 4-0 Blues, and Proctor deals to Samuelson, ball 1. So Grotto doubled to lead off the inning. Shell struck out on 3 pitches, and Martinez sent one into left center. It took a hop over Pettis' head in center. He was unable to field it. It rolled all the way to the wall, and Martinez is safe at third as a result. This one is flown out to right. Martinez will tag and try to score. The throw in from right is on a hop, not in time. It is 5-0. A fly out to right. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Tate Samuelson. He flew out to right, drives in Martinez from third, who tagged and scored. It is 5-0 Blues. And there's 2 outs for TJ Clarkson. There's no one on. We're in the bottom of the 7th, and they have tacked on to make the score 5-0. That was the final the last time these two met back on the 24th of June. Clarkson takes ball 1. Looked at that one the whole way. Clarkson has doubled and reached after being hit by a pitch. Proctor delivers ball 2. to TJ. Last time we saw Clarkson was pinch hitting in a win in Thousand Oaks. That is a fair ball, and Clarkson will round first. Try for two. It's his second double of the day. TJ Clarkson. Another extra base hit. It's the third extra base hit of this inning. 2 doubles and a triple now for the Blues in the bottom of the 7th. And Proctor now has to face Vinny Bologna, who's reached in all 3 of his plate appearances. He has singled and been hit by a pitch twice. And this is going to be a conversation on the mound now. It will be a pitching change. As a result, Nick Proctor has given up 2 runs in this inning after giving up a double to Grotto, a triple to Martinez, and a sac fly. Tate Samuelson scored Martinez, made it 5-0. Clarkson now doubles down the right field line, and there's a pitching change. We'll introduce you to the new Forrester's arm on the other end of this break. It's 5-0 Blues. We've heard that before. Searching for that 17th win in 22 games.
Any idea who we got?
I'm going to take a short break and be right back with you. Here's Vinny Bologna, who, as we mentioned, has reached in all 3 of his plate appearances. He has singled and been hit by a pitch twice. He bats with 2 outs, a 5-0 lead for the Blues. They've got 5 runs on 10 even hits, and TJ Clarkson doubled. So now Bologna bats with a man in scoring position. Same situation as the bottom of the 4th presented. Clarkson doubled to lead off the inning. Bologna takes strike 1. So the Blues lead 5-0. That was the final when these 2 teams met on June 24th. Blues pitching 6 shutout innings from Evan Larson, allowed 2 men to reach on a walk, and 1 was hit by a pitch. Sam Page came in and got a 1-2-3 inning himself. That's away, ball 1. Count is even to Vinny Bologna. On a Tuesday night in Sinsheimer Park. Crowd on hand, and they're watching a good one. They're watching a great one in terms of the Blues pitching performance. And there's been timely hitting featured. 3 extra base hits in this bottom of the 7th. And here's a man who's prone to hit him himself. 1-1 to Bologna. That one's hit out to the right side, and it's hit right to Zobak at first. He'll tag the bag and end the inning. Not before the Blues plate 2 more on a triple from Vince Martinez. He's got 5 RBIs in his 4 starts as a Blue, and a sac fly and an RBI that scored Martinez from third by Tate Samuelson. It's 5-0. We will head to the top of the 8th. And we will let you know who's on the mound for the Blues, whether it's Page or whether it's a new arm, but it is 5-0. Blues are shutting out the Foresters and have only allowed 2 men to reach on a walk and hit by a pitch. This is a good one. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after a short break on the Blue Streaming Network. Thank you so much for making this a part of your Tuesday evening. I'm Zach Ebrahim, and I hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have. Tanner Otremba, DH, is facing Sam Page. That pitch is fouled off for strike 1. So Sam Page, who had a 1-2-3 inning back in the top of the 7th, pitches now in the top of the 8th, now with a 5-0 cushion. Induced 3 flyouts in the inning. Set Kachel, Zobak, and Robleski down 1-2-3. Faces Tremba now, who's 0-2 with 2 strikeouts, both coming against Larson. And we'll see how he fares against Sam Page. That's bounced to the plate, and it's 1-1. No one on and no out in the top of the 8th here at Sinsheimer Park. And it's been the best pitching performance of the Blues all season in a combined effort. 6 shutout innings by Larson, and a shutout inning under the belt of Sam Page. That's taken 2 balls and 1 strike now the count. There's no outs for Tanner Otremba. Page delivers a 2-1 to Otremba. That's low ball 3. And the Foresters, who have only walked once, that was Zobak back in the 4th. He was the second base runner of the day for them. They average 7.5 walks a game. They've walked once on the doorstep of a second. Here's a 3-run from Page. It's hit, and it's a 2-hopper. Chopper to Samuelson, who cannot get it. That is an E5. Right? E5? Tough. I mean,
Didn't run all that well.
I think given the circumstances, we're going to give that an E5.
The Foresters have just their third base runner of the game.
So Otremba has reached on an E5 by Samuelson. Page delivers strike one to Casagrande. It's the third error of this ball game. So Casagrande is in an 0-1 count, and Otremba is safe at first after reaching on the E5. It's the first error of the day for the Blues.
Arizona. That was a ball? Yeah.
That was a strike. That was called a ball, and it is 1-1 to Casagrande. Otremba is safe at first after the E5 from Samuelson. Casagrande, who's 0 for 2 today, awaits a 1-1 from Sam Page. Inside ball 2. Otremba reaching for the first time today. He's just the third base runner for the Foresters. Our score is 5-0 in favor of the Blues. 2-1 from Page. That's low ball 3, and Casagrande is in a 3-ball count. The next two men, Morrissey and Higgins, have both struck out twice. They're 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts combined, the 7 and 8 hitters. But Page has to deal with Casagrande, who takes ball 4, and he is the 4th base runner to reach now. So there's 2 on and no one out, and it's the best chance the Foresters have had today with Morrissey at the plate, as mentioned, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. But Otremba reached on an E5, and Casagrande was just walked on 5 pitches.
Nobody out. Now Austin Joe, the catcher, out to have a word with Sam Page. Allowed a couple of base runners. Now you don't want to get too fine. You are working on something special, but
Shell has a conversation with Sam Page. Foresters have had men reach twice now on walks, once on an error, and 1 hit by a pitch. Those have been their 4 base runners. They've gotten 2 now back-to-back for the first time today. Men on first and second for Morrissey. There's no outs. We're in the top of the 8th, and it's 5-0. Half-heartedly swung on and missed by Morrissey. It's 0-1. Blues with an even 5 runs on 10 hits. And the E5 by Samuelson, we'll see if it looms large. It has for the Foresters. Their 2 errors, I mean. Showing bunt and pulling away to take ball 1 is Morrissey. Count is 1-1 to the Foresters' second baseman.
Situation where the Foresters might find the run call before they find the hit call. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Page checks second twice. Now we'll throw over. Well, he'll actually pump fake the throw, keep the ball in his hand. There was no one over there to field a throw and possibly tag the runner. It's Otremba at second. That's the man playing cat and mouse with Page. He reached on an E5. Casagrande's safe at first after he was walked on 5 pitches. Here's a 1-1 to Morrissey. That's in there for strike 2, and the changeup from Page is in there. No outs in the top of the 8th. This is the best chance the Foresters have had to score. They have men on first and second. They trail 5-0.
Twilight time in San Luis Obispo.
1-2. Outside, and the count is even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josiah Morrissey. Morrissey, who his birthday's in 5 days. We'll be celebrating that soon. But before that, trying to have himself a day at the plate. He'll say he took ball 3. Count is full. So the second baseman was 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts.
Jared Thomas
And we will see the result of this at-bat and whether or not it's the last man Sam Page will face as McCleve warms in the bullpen. Payoff pitch is swung on and killed to right, but foul. And with what's happening right now and what the Blues are working on, that is something that'll make your heart drop. But we take a deep breath now and we reconvene. Morrissey in a full count versus Page, and on first and second that have reached on an error and a walk. The other two base runners on the day for the Foresters were hit by a pitch and walked. In the dirt, and it's ball 4, and it gets away in the process. Bases will be loaded. And even threatening to score was Otremba from third, but all for naught. The bases are loaded. There's no one out, and Sam Page will have to face a pinch hitter now for the Foresters as Jared Thomas is deployed as the first pinch hitter today. Here comes Bob Miller, and we will see a pitching change. It'll be Zach McCleve to try and get out of this mess that Sam Page has left. But McCleve has gotten out of jams before, and Page was excellent in the 7th. Allowed 3 men to reach now. Otremba reached on an error. Casagrande and Morrissey were walked. Now it's McCleve to get out of a bases-loaded jam with nobody out in the top of the 8th. It's 5-0 Blues, but the Foresters are really threatening. For the first time today, they have the bases loaded with no one out, and it'll be McCleve to try and get out of the jam. Don't go anywhere. It's a good one as promised. It's 5-0, but we'll see what the Foresters can do. McCleve trying to shut him down when we come back. Top of the 8th, no outs. 5-0 Blues. I'll be right back. Chapter 2 this season of the Blues and Foresters has not disappointed. Blues pitching staff has put together a magnificent combined effort, but it's Zach McCleve now to deal with a bases-loaded and no-outs jam with Jared Thomas, the first pinch hitter deployed, who fouls the first one off to the left side, and there's no question he'll be aggressive and try to get the Foresters on the board for the first time today. Blues lead 5-0. There are no outs in the top of the 8th. 0-1 to Jared Thomas, pinch hitting for Cade Higgins, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and it's Zach McCleve pitching out of the pen. That one is grounded. Foul again. It's 0-2. Well, bases loaded, no outs. I mean, doesn't get more stressful than that on the mound, but McCleve is a cool customer, especially when you talk to him outside of baseball. Outside of the dugout, I should say. 0-2 on Thomas. Time will be called. Bases are loaded for the Foresters. 0-2 from McCleve. In there! Strike 3 called, and that's the first out. Jared Thomas comes in and takes 3 pitches, all strikes. He strikes out looking, and it is a second straight pinch hitter being deployed. This one in place of Jack Rydell.
Ethan Bates, who came on in the middle innings for the Jack Rydell. He struck out in his only at-bat. That was back in the 6th.
It's Ethan Bates taking ball 1. Bases still loaded. And now there's 1 away for Ethan Bates, pinch hitting in the place of Jack Rydell, who was 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. It's 5-0 Blues. 1-0. That's taken for ball 2. We want to remind you that Kendall Pettis was the first base runner of the day for the Foresters. He was hit by a pitch. Zobak would follow. He was walked. That came back in the fourth. We're in the 8th now. A runner has reached on an error and 2 back-to-back via the walk. There's 1 out and the bases are loaded. McCleve deals a 2-0. Swung on and fouled back. Bates now in a 2-1 count, and McCleve trying to work his way out of this one. What a job it would be by McCleve. A lot of work still to be done. 2 balls and 1 strike to Ethan Bates. Pinch hitter deployed, second straight by the Foresters. Swings and weak contact will have it dribble foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ethan Bates. And McCleve, who struck out Jared Thomas, looking on 3 pitches. Looking for that key second out with the bases loaded. And the Blues leading 5-0. Foresters threatening. And this is the most tense it's been all night.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
McCleve swung out and hit to left. That'll drop in foul territory. That one hung up in there. Well, that ball was in the air. Our hearts were in our throats. But it lands foul, and it is 2-2 now. Still, I should say. Bases are loaded. Blues lead 5-0, and McCleve trying to keep it that way. Pitching in relief of Sam Page, who walked Casagrande and Morrissey after Otremba reached on an error. 2-2 to Bates. That's hit foul to the right side, and this has slowly become a battle now between McCleve and Bates. We saw Bates back in the first matchup between these two teams. He went 1 for 4 with a single. Pinch hitting in place of Jack Rydell in the 9-hole. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. We're in the top of the 8th. It's Sinsheimer Park.
Another 2-2 on the way.
Popped up.
Shallow left field.
Cermak and Grotto. Someone's got to call for it. It'll be Grotto to make the catch, and tagging and scoring will be Tanner Otremba. It is 5-1. Foresters with their first run. So it's 5-1. The shutout is gone. But another part of this performance is still intact. Bates, with a sac fly and an RBI, makes it 5-1. And we'll work our way back to the top now. And the first man who reached in this game. It'll be another pinch hitter. So pinch hitting for Pettis. We'll see who it is in a moment. It is Carson Wells. So it's 5-1.
Left-handed batter. 2 on and 2 out.
Carson Wells pinch hitting for Kendall Pettis at the top of this lineup.
Left-handed batter.
McCleve now with men on first and second and delivers ball 1.
An all Pac-12 matchup here with the right-hander McCleve.
1 ball and no strikes to Wells. McCleve, who surrenders the 1 run, but another part of this outing for this entire Blues pitching staff. Still possible. 1 ball and no strikes. Now 1 ball and 1 strike as Wells swings through that one. It is 1-1. There's 2 outs. We're in the top of the 8th, and men are on first and second. The 2 men that were walked back-to-back. Casagrande's at second and Morrissey at first.
Kind of feel like a missed opportunity. The bases loaded with nobody out. 1-1 home. Wells
Swung on and missed. It's 1-2, and McCleve is a strike away from only giving up the 1 run. So it's 5-1. Blues unable to shut the Foresters out for a second time this year, but still with that 4-run cushion. Looking for a victory.
McLeave comes set at the belt.
1-2.
1-2 home.
Called strike 3, and he got him to end the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Our score 5-1.
2096.
Blues with an even 5 runs on 10 hits. The 1 error by Samuelson committed in the top of the 8th. The Foresters with 1 run, a 0, and 2 errors. We'll be right back with you for the bottom of the 8th. Blues bats up, hopefully for one final time. With a 4-run cushion now, it's 5-1, looking for their 17th win in 22 games and looking for a win over the Foresters that would put them in sole possession of first place in the CCL South. Stay tuned for the final 2 innings. Austin Kretschmar leading off the bottom of the 8th for the Blues, takes ball 1. New pitcher on the mound is Peyton Cole, who we actually saw in the starting lineup for the Foresters. He hit versus the Blues. Kretschmar hit to short and tossed on to first. There's 1 away. Mercado singles to right center. So that's the second hit of the night for Ruben. He is 2 for 4, and he reaches. Cermak will now step to the plate for the 5th time tonight. He has struck out 3 times and driven in an RBI on a single. That was back in the 5th. Cermak takes strike 1 from Peyton Cole. When hitting against us, Peyton Cole went 1 for 4 with a single, similar to Ethan Bates' outing. 0-1 to Cermak. That's taken low for ball 1. So Mercado is safe at first. It's 5-1. Blues with the lead. We are in the bottom of the 8th. Foresters with 1 run, a 0, and 2 errors. Blues with 5 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. Cermak sends that one out to left, but it is caught by Casagrande, and there's 2 away. Quickly 2 away now for Mason Grotto, who bats with Mercado safe at first after he singled. And Grotto, who has reached on an E5 back in the third and doubled, more appropriately, back in the bottom of the seventh. We're in the bottom of the eighth. It's 5-1, and the first pitch to Grotto is high for ball one.
A double in the run his last time. He's 1 for 4.
Grotto awaits a 1-0 from Peyton Cole, and that's taken for strike one. With the count even, Mercado is safe at first, and Grotto's at the plate.
One ball and 1 strike to Mason Grotto.
Grotto hits one to second, and Bates will take it on to second and tap the bag for the third out. Last chance for the Foresters. Blues 3 outs away from history. They lead 5-1. You won't want to miss this top of the ninth. It'll be Zach McCleve set to get the final 3 outs for San Luis Obispo. They lead 5-1. They're in search of their second win against the Foresters in 2 games this season, in search of their 16th win in 22 games, and in search of taking over, first place in the CCL South. Stay tuned to see if they can do it and make some history here. Zach McCleve on in the top of the ninth. We're in the top of the ninth. It's 5-1. Blues with the lead. McCleve on to get the final 3 outs. And he'll have to do so facing Andrew Cachel to lead things off. Swung on, and it's back to McCleve, but
And he will beat it out for a base hit. That's how the
Kretschmar doesn't come on. McCleve doesn't come on to get it, and it's the first base hit for the Foresters tonight. It is a swinging bunt single from Andrew Cachel, fittingly the man who leads the team in offensive numbers, reaches first base, and it's the first hit for the Foresters.
He's got the first hit of the ball game for the Sturs. Breaking ball, it looked like swung at, hit off the end of the bat, and just hit the first.
Well, it goes down as a line drive in the scorebook, unfortunately, but those of us watching know that that one squibbled to the right side of the infield and would not be grabbed. It's the first base hit for the Foresters, and now it's Steven Zobak at the plate, facing McCleve. McCleve, who throws on to first. So the Foresters got a run before they got a hit. And that's why we said this was such a stellar outing from this Blues pitching performance. It still has been, of course. But they were in search of history. Sent out to left, and it'll be in foul ground. It'll be 1-1.
One run in that 8th inning.
1 ball and 1 strike. Swung on and missed.
2.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Steven Zobak, who has only reached on a walk back in the 4th. Andrew Cachel, of course, just singled. First hit of the game for the Foresters. He's on. There's no outs. We're in the top of the 9th, and it's 5-1 Blues. Double play ball to second. Now to short. Now to first. In time to get 2. 4-6-3 on the double play. And there's 2 away.
Now they're just 1 out away from the victory, and the bases are empty for Ryan Wrobleski.
The lucky number 2052, headed up to the right. You are getting the 10.
Wrobleski now is the last chance for the Foresters. They trail 5-1. 0 for 3 today with 2 flyouts and a ground out to short. McCleve trying to get that final out. Breaking pitch taken for ball 1.
Strange start to the week for the Stars, who were nearly no hit tonight. Their manager was ejected.
That gets away, ball 1.
Have a chance to get even in the series. 2-game set.
2 balls, no strikes to Ryan Wrobleski. Last chance for the Foresters in this one. McCleve. That one's high. Ball 3.
No strikes. Trumbo would be next. 5-1. Blues lead. Top of the 9th. 2 outs and the base is empty.
3-0 count from McCleve
3-0 to Wrobleski.
to Wrobleski. That's taken for strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike to count now. McCleve trying to get that third out here and send the Blues faithful home here on a night in Sinsheimer Park that the Blues were 3 outs away from history, possibly a combined no-hitter. Foresters spoil it, get that hit. It was Cachel that did it in the top of the 9th, leading off the inning. It's a walk to Wrobleski, and it's the first time he's reached tonight. There's now 1 on for Tanner Otremba, who reached on an error back in the 8th. 1 on and 2 outs for Otremba. Top 9, 5-1 Blues. And McCleve in search of the third out. And another Blues victory over the Foresters. It would be 2 in 2 games. Of course, we'll have the third game between these two teams tomorrow. Same place, same time. You're on the Blue Streaming Network. Hope to either have you in attendance in person or checking out our stream of the game. 1 ball, no strikes to Otremba.
Here's a 1-0 pitch.
In there, strike 1. McCleve with the count back to even. Blues were on the doorstep of history before it was all ruined by Andrew Cachel, swinging bunt single. We're worried about the win now, and 5-1 is the score. That pitch is taken for ball 2.
2 balls, 1 strike to Otremba. Blues on the verge of taking the first 2 of the 2021
2-1 to Otremba.
5-0 win back in
With the win, Blues will be in sole possession of first place in the CCL South. Otremba, it's 2-2. We've seen McCleve pitch in the 9th a number of times this year. He's picked up a save, has picked up a win. 2-2 the count to Otremba, and a strike away from finishing off the Foresters. 2-2. Taken for ball 3, and the Foresters are having some good at-bats here. The double play by Zobak is why there's 2 outs in the top of the 9th. 5-pitch walk by Wrobleski. Single, of course, by Cachel. An inning that could have proved to maybe amount to much more if the double play had not happened, but here's a 3-2. That's swung on and missed for strike 3. The game is over. Blues beat the Foresters for the second time this year. Unable to shut them out, unable to no-hit them, but your final is 5-1, and the Blues are in sole possession of first place in the CCL South. It hasn't been that way for a couple weeks. Blues go to 7-3 in conference. Now a full game over the Foresters. Foresters fall to 12-4 on the season, and the Blues advance to 16-5. Excuse me. Get that number right. 17-5 for your Blues. 17 wins in 22 games. Your final in this one, 5-1. And it was the best performance, arguably, by this pitching staff the entire season. Had held the Foresters hitless until the top of the ninth. They were held hitless through 8. The swinging bunt single by Cachel, just the one hit all night. They got a run before they got a hit, and your final is 5-1. Blues with the victory, 2-0 against the Foresters this season, now in first place in the CCL South. Stay tuned for the post-game show, Blues Live. We'll have a player interview. Going to go grab Vince Martinez, if I can, possibly Evan Larson, maybe get a 2-player interview again. That was fun the last time we did it. Try and get Vince Martinez, who drove in 2 RBIs and is a relatively new San Luis Obispo Blue, and Evan Larson, who in just his second start this season went 6 full, didn't give up a run or a hit, and struck out 8. So Evan was sharp. Martinez a read for the cushion and the 5-1 victory. I'll try to grab them both. Stay tuned for the post-game show, Blues Live. As for the broadcast of this game and the call of this one, I've been Zach Ebrahim. Hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. For statistician Max Lober, PA announcer Nigel, sound guy Evan Sunny. So long from the press box and so long from Sinsheimer Stadium. Stay tuned for the post-game show. Player interview coming up. I'll be right back. Good night, everybody. Back on the post-game show, Blues Live. Vince Martinez.
How's it going?
Back cleanup and DH today. Vince, you drove in 3 runs, actually.
Nice.
Actually, no, you drove in 2. Excuse me, you had 3 hits.
That was cool. 3. We'll do
Yeah,
that.
2 singles, that triple out to left center. But you've been here for 5 days. You've got as many RBIs as you've been a Blue in 5 days. So talk about how you've kind of gotten yourself integrated into this lineup, your approach at the plate, and why you've been so good with runners in scoring position.
Honestly, coming into the summer, it's something that I want to work on. I think one of the most important parts of hitting in the game is just being able to drive guys in. Because at the end of the day, like, hitting is fun and everything, but guys need to score. You know what I mean? If you score more runs than the other guy, you're gonna win. And I don't know, it just kind of changes the mindset to taking pressure away from the situations and kind of almost being excited to have an opportunity to help the team. You know, and a lot of the times it's not pretty. Like, a lot of them haven't been like, oh, great swings or anything like that. But at the end of the day, if you get it done, you get it done, and things go well. You know?
Well, that's what you've been doing. And I mean, 3 hits today, the 1 triple, that was awesome. And you end up getting driven in by Samuelson on that sac fly. But if you were coming in, because you had a great 2021 with Stanford, you really did, and you hit the ball hard and you hit it far. So if there was one thing coming into this summer that you wanted to work on with your game, what was that specifically?
Pitch selection.
Okay.
A lot of the times when you're going good, or when, you know, you have a certain kind of profile around you, guys will pitch you differently. And that's definitely something I saw. Kind of last season was the first time I played consistently an entire season. So I saw, like, the adjustments that were being made to me. So now I feel like going into the summer, I know exactly what I have to work on. And a lot of the time, I think having a better pitch selection and knowing what I'm being more realistic about what I'm going to get as opposed to what I want to see, just kind of taking what's given to me, is what's probably helping me with runners in scoring position. Because a lot of times, guys on second and third, guys on second, you're not going to get just kind of like the 1-0 cookie that you might get with nobody on. You know, you have to be a little bit more careful.
Last question for you. How good did it feel to give this guy a cushion when he's rolling like that and kind of free his swing up? And you didn't have to pitch perfect tonight, but he did. And you gave him a cushion. How good did that feel?
To be honest, it's a lot easier to hit, and I'm probably sure it's easier to pitch, but when the other team has no momentum and just no life, and your guy is shoving, like, you're always on offense, you know what I mean? It's pretty easy to hit. So I guess the more of the thanks goes to Evan. He shoved. But yeah, I felt good to be able to give him some cushion, but it felt better being to hit stress-free, knowing that whatever happened, even if we didn't score, they certainly weren't going to score. So,
well, we appreciate the insight, Vince, and I'm sure we'll have you back. You're playing great, and
thank you.
Great
Appreciate
game. Yeah. Bring in Evan Larson. So, Evan, this was just your second start, and we had you on after your first, so this is becoming a trend. But, I mean, you absolutely – come in a little more. There you go. Let him see a man that pitched 6 full innings of no-hit shutout baseball with 8 Ks mixed in. They're kind of sprinkled in there. How good did you feel out there today? What was the pitch that was working best for you? And when did you know, at what point did you say, oh, I'm going to go for a while and this is going to be a good day?
Well, first of all, I want to start off. It was kind of a difficult day for Austin Shaw and I and the Fullerton baseball family. We laid to rest one of our old teammates, Nico Cole, and couldn't be there today for him, but I made sure to pay tribute, put his initials out there, NC,
Absolutely.
Put his number at heart, and I know he was there watching no rest today, but I don't know. I haven't felt this good in a day in a long time, and
Wow.
I was telling Dean down the bullpen, I was concerned because when you throw well in the pen,
Yeah.
usually it never translates in the game. So I was telling Dean, I'm like, I'm kind of concerned right now. Like, my stuff's working. I made some mechanical adjustments. This is my first time pitching out of the windup, and I can't even tell you how long. I've worked out of the stretch the whole year at Concordia, and came in, felt really good. Made some adjustments with the hand separation, and honestly, everything felt really good. It was a 4-pitch mix. Usually, I'm a guy with a high spin rate and can go fastballs by guys and then throw in a breaking ball. But today it was 4-seam, 2-seam, curveball. The slider was good. Changeup, I was glove striking, getting for an out pitch. And I was pitch for pitch. I know it's really cliche, but that's as good as I felt on the mound in 3 years easily. It's been a long time.
And you looked at, man, you threw 64 pitches. I mean, we're up here in the press box.
Yeah.
Come on,
I
let
know,
Evan go
I know.
back out there. But we understand,
Yeah.
we understand Coach Miller. You know, he might get a call from your coach, Corey. Why is Evan still out there? You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's awesome, man, and we appreciate your words about your teammate. We're sorry for your loss. But how good did it feel to pitch like that when the team's on a winning streak like they were? Because you guys had won 3 straight, all by 1 run, and you're out there, you're the man on the mound. They're asking you to go a little bit, and you shut down a Foresters team. They're averaging 9 runs a game, 11 hits a game. Yeah, and you just completely shut them down. So how good did it feel to kind of make this winning streak now 4 in a row against a really good team? You guys are now in sole possession of first place in the CCL South.
I mean, pretty incredible feeling. I got together with Sox, who threw against him last time, and got to kind of talk about his game plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's like, get that changeup going. And I think with him too, he's got a good fastball with some life on it, can spin it well. And I mean, for me, that definitely played. And it's a pretty awesome feeling. I think that was definitely a very high-strung game. And yeah, I knew that was a really good lineup. And I don't know what to tell you. It was just they caught me on a bad day for their for their sake. So
no,
pretty good feeling.
I should have asked. Sox. He kind of tore him up too. You know, so that's awesome that you guys got together and discussed a game plan. But great watching you pitch out there, Evan. It's been a pleasure having you. And I'm sure we'll have you back again, maybe after another start. But way to kill it today, Vince. Good stuff today. Blues win 5-1. First place in the CCL
Blues
South.
are hot.
Blues are hot. Yes, sir. 4 in a row for San Luis Obispo. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.